thank you.
Oh, perhaps you're right. Some new blend, apparently. Kenyan beans and sump oil. Garibaldi? All right, then, what is it?
I don't know what you mean.
Jonathan, I am not sitting in here with you looking like that. No wonder the coffee's gone off. All I said was it creates a bad impression if you lounge around in theatre reading trashy novels.
I'm an anaesthetist. I studied for years so I could lounge around in theatre reading trashy novels.
Well, it's wrong. They expect to see you fussing around with the patient.
Doing what? Clipping his toenails?
You know what I mean?
One does not fuss around with patients. One keeps an eye on the pulse, blood pressure. Dr. Kildare was Richard Chamberlain in fancy dress.
Jonathan, I don't want to argue.
Oh, is it Lent already?
Simon, have you by any chance been sniffing anything?
I'm happy, that's all. Well, can you sit somewhere else? This is reserved for rampant antagonism.
I thought you might like to hear my good news.
Yes, well, it's an easy mistake to make.
I'm getting married. Oh, Joyce. I wondered if I could have a quick word in your ear.
Just a minute.
Yes, of course. Oh, problems?
No, why?
Well, I can't help noticing you seem to be struggling somewhat.
I'm not struggling at all. Everything's fine.
Fine. Ah, yes, yes. What you've done there is you've lost all your data.
I know that. That's what I meant to do.
Pardon?
I wanted to lose it.
Why?
That's none of your business. If I want to lose all my data, I'll lose it. I don't have to ask your permission.
No, quite.
What was it you wanted?
Oh, the thing I popped in for. Do you know, I can't remember. How awfully silly.
What? Oh, I'm sorry, Glenda. I just got a bit angry. It's all right, I'm calming down. What? They're giving me what?
Joyce, thought you might like to hear my good news.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
Just once. Just go out with me once. You'll have a good time.
I don't want a good time. I'm not that kind of person, thank you.
All right, we'll go somewhere boring then.
Martin?
Look, I just want to be friends, nothing else, I promise.
No.
Is he bothering you?
Mind your own business. Sorry. Go on.
We'll go ice skating.
No. Bloody hell, don't you ever give up.
Errol!
Won't be a minute.
You won't forget that bit over there, will you?
Mira, bonita, yo llevo 5 años trabajando en esta casa de locos. Tus asuntos y deja los míos para mí. ¿Vale?
Pardon?
Nada.
En primer lugar, no me llames bonita. Y en segundo lugar, si esto fuese una casa de locos, a ti no te soltaban ni con cadenas, ¿vale?
How'd you learn that?
Night school. I told them forget all that cat sat on the mat rubbish. I want to learn some gutbusters.
You wanted something?
Yes. Do you know if anyone's been saying I can't cope with all this work we've got on?
No.
Well, someone has.
Well, aren't you just a bit surprised? I mean, he wanders in, says he's getting married, and as far as I can recall, no one knew he was going out with anyone.
I'm only surprised that anyone dumb enough to want to get married can still find someone dumb enough to do it with. Here we are, gaps in the ozone layer, acid rain. Surely that's enough catastrophes for anyone's appetite.
Excuse me. In among all this tit-tat you two spread around, have you been saying anything about me?
You?
Joyce, 90% of our tit-tat comes from you in the first place.
Well, someone's gone independent.
Well, you know, what have they been saying?
Who's getting married? Sorry?
I was just wondering. You said someone was getting married.
Simon Field.
Oh. Oh, well. There wasn't much meat on him anyway.
Would anyone mind if we get back to me for a minute?
Yes, sorry, someone's been saying something.
Well, I can't be sure they have. All I know is I got a call this morning from upstairs to say they're giving me an assistant for 2 months.
About time too.
Why?
Well, far be it from me to blow anyone else's trumpet when mine hasn't had a decent raspberry for weeks, but you do enough work for 10 people.
Joyce, you shoot up and down that corridor like you're single-handedly relieving Mafeking. Great armfuls of folders and dockets.
The fact that you can still find time to monger a heap of scandal is nothing short of wondrous.
So it was you who told them I couldn't cope?
Couldn't cope?
Well, it's obvious. Someone's being brought in to take over my job.
Joyce!
Someone young and hungry, with naturally shiny hair. Someone who probably knows how to work that blasted computer.
Well, don't you?
And if someone's coming in, where am I going? Oh, down, sideways, or out?
You're not going anywhere, Joyce. You've been running this place for God knows how long.
But I don't know how to run it the way they say. Only properly.
Well, I think you're getting worked up over nothing. And as for someone who knows about computers coming down from upstairs, you might ask them why my payslips always made out to Dr. O.G. Hatslab.
Exactly. You won't get some bright spark. You'll get what we always get, something that's shot out of their overflow pipe.
You think so?
Joyce, if there was someone upstairs who knew what he was doing, they'd have shot him as a troublemaker weeks ago.
You'll get some boring little man in a cardigan to help you with the paperwork, I promise.
Yes. Well, I wasn't getting worked up exactly.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I was just, mildly concerned.
Right.
And if I hear anyone saying different, I'm coming back with a pitchfork. ¿Entiendes?
Hombre!
What?
Not much meat on him, he said.
Well, you shouldn't have been listening. That was a private conversation between me, Mrs. Sabatini, Dr. Haslam, Joyce and Mr. Lopez, the cleaner.
What does it mean? That's all I want to know. Hey, how am I doing for meat?
Oh, my God.
Married? Yes.
Well, I'm absolutely dumbfounded, really. Quite staggered.
Yes.
We both are. Staggered. Getting married to whom exactly?
Oh, Pippa. Sister Macefield. Pediatrics.
Oh, well, woman who likes kids. I've always said any woman who loves kids...
Simon, have you lost all your conkers?
Oh, steady on, old boy. It isn't that bad.
Yes, it is. I mean, here you are in the prime of life, not atrocious to look at, free to sow the odd safely packaged oat without let or hindrance, and you're giving it up? For what? What you've got. Precisely. Anyway, I never did much. Did what? Well, so. Well, not much.
My dear chap, as you know, I'm the world's greatest champion of wedded bliss. All for it. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're on the road to having what Grace and I have together, I couldn't be more pleased. But getting back to this sewing business...
2 weeks in Bangkok. Your holiday this year was 2 weeks in Bangkok. I went with Pippa. You went to the greatest hotbed of burning passion in the entire universe and took your own personal extinguisher? I'm sorry to disappoint all those people who've been slapping me on the back ever since and saying, "Way," but I went to Thailand because it's a beautiful place. And I went with Pippa because I like being with her.
Well, good for you, I say.
George!
No, I'm sorry. This young woman is clearly someone very special. And if Simon feels it's time to put down roots, I, for one, have no qualms in saying all the very best. I'm absolutely delighted. One imagines there'll be some kind of celebratory booze-up. Eh?
Prep, please. If you must do it, why can't you read something decent? Thomas Hardy, the odd biography.
Because I haven't got time to read, I just dip into it now and again. Anyway, it is a biography.
Oh?
Yes.
We might need a couple more syringes.
Oh, thank you.
Michael, before you go, I wonder if you could settle a small bet we're all having.
Sorry?
On Dr. Haslam's anaesthetic machine, you will find a dog-eared biography of someone who changed the world for all time. I say it's Mahatma Gandhi. Sister here is plumb for Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. I wonder if you'd have a peek.
Joan Collins.
Thank you so much. Yes, please.
Joan Collins.
But I'm not reading it for enjoyment. George Hope Wynne practically thrust it on me yesterday.
I see. And what was George Hope Wynne doing with it? Using it as a wheel chock for his MG?
No, he reckons he's in it.
In it?
Well, you know what he's like. She had some minor stomach trouble in 1805. He fixed it. And now he's convinced that every male stud that pops up is a veiled reference to him.
I don't know. Do you think it's something in the air?
What?
Well, I don't know. There seem to be these periods. Certain times of the year when everyone goes a bit peculiar.
I've noticed that. I've got this guy chasing me about like a loony.
Yes, well, that's a major reversal of the norm, certainly. There's Hope Wynne's this book, Joyce flying into hysterics for no reason.
Simon Field getting married.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that. I thought you'd be all in favour.
Oh, I'm all in favour of marriage, yes. I just think... Oh,
What?
nothing.
You're all in favour of marriage, you just think what?
Well, you know Pippa Macefield. She loves nursing. She wouldn't give it up for anything. And I just think... I really don't want to finish this.
2 large swabs.
Fancy Mr. Hope Wynne knowing Joan Collins' small bowel.
You just think what? Scalpel.
Well, I just think a man in Simon's position needs a wife who's going to be at home all day and do the washing and the ironing and make meals and do the shopping and do all the things that Simon can't do when he's out working. That's all.
That's naffed up the rest of the day, no trouble.
Don't you dare speak to me. Don't you dare say one word.
Quite frankly, you haven't left space for one in the last half hour.
I can't believe it. I can't believe those words came out of your mouth and I didn't whack them straight back in again with a kidney dish.
Sheila, will you stand still for 1 minute?
I'm going to see Joyce. I want some muck spread.
Don't you dare speak to me. Don't you dare say one word to me ever again. All right?
What?
Ooh.
Do you want that? Oh, God.
Morning.
Are you going to be here long? What? Look, I know you found it first, but if I'm going to do any kind of work today, I may have to take this wall with me. I feel like a laundrette.
Morning, chaps. My word, that was one hell of a binge last night, don't you think? Still, chap only gets engaged once. I say, anyone sent for the first patient? Eh? No one must press on.
Bill, 1 moment, please. Theatre 2, please.
It said in this documentary I saw a couple of weeks back that it's only the female mosquito that sucks blood. How do you feel about that?
Jonathan, have you got a death wish?
Funnily enough, yes.
You must be the biggest hypocrite I've ever met in my life. You go out and pickle 500,000 brain cells to celebrate Simon's engagement to someone you don't even think he ought to be marrying.
Why single me out? At the last count, there were 28 of us. Anyway, I didn't say I shouldn't marry her. I like Pippa. I think she's nice.
You said...
I know what I said. And as usual, you dragged it out of me after I decided not to say it, because I knew if I did say it, you'd say, I can't believe you said that. And come down on me like a ton of elegantly groomed breeze blocks. But unlike you, I know what I meant. Because, as usual, we looked at all the possible misinterpretations, selected the worst, and went ranting off up the corridor. My God! Walking stick, broomstick, or dipstick. If it's got a wrong end, you'll get hold of it.
All right, then what did you mean?
You really want to know? Or am I going to get halfway through and find myself chewing a handbag?
I really want to know.
All right. I just think it's a bit dicey when two people are married and they've both got responsible full-time jobs, that's all. I'm not saying that Pippa should give hers up. I'm not saying that Simon should give his up. I'm just saying that if one of them doesn't, there's more chance it's not going to work.
I see. That's it now, is it? You have explained yourself, I understand what you mean, and everything is crystal clear.
Yes.
Then I was right. Absolute bullcack. You just think because a married couple are both working...
Sheila, somebody's got to look after the house, make the beds.
So who makes yours?
Well, actually, no one recently.
Jonathan, people do not get married and then suddenly develop a bed-making problem. Unless they're really lucky. It's just like being single, only there's two of you.
No, it isn't. That's my point. If you're both working, there isn't two of you most of the time. Just one. And a note stuck on the fridge saying, for God's sake, feed the cat.
Well, all I can say is plenty of other people have managed it.
Well, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
So, plenty of other people like who?
All right, then, Joyce. Look at Joyce. Responsible, full-time job, 3 kids, happily married.
Excuse me.
Yeah. You're going steadily more bats with every day that passes.
Joyce? Joyce! What are you doing?
It's my job. There's nothing strange about that, I hope.
Not necessarily. They've taken you off plant watering then, have they?
It's him.
Who?
Him in my office. That spot What a young know-it-all they've foisted on me.
Joyce is not spotty.
Well, he should be. How can you do that? At his age, I was covered in the blasted things.
He's not that young.
He is to me. Sheila, he knows everything. He knows my job back to front. Do you know what he said 10 minutes ago?
The way you talk, I'm surprised he can say anything except pee-pee and rusk.
He said most of the things we deal with could be put on a computer disk and the place would virtually run itself.
Oh, you know what they're like. They're always coming out with rubbish like that.
It's not rubbish. I've been charging around all over the place, trying to find something you can't do on a computer, and I can't find one. Shh. The only difference would be a lower number of cock-ups than when I do it.
You do hundreds of things you can't do on a PC.
Like what? You see?
Mrs. Watson, your husband's on the phone.
Oh, not now. Tell him I'm busy.
Joyce!
All right.
Oh,
Now then, who've we got here? Oh, I know Mrs. Humphreys. We're old friends, aren't we?
Michael, have you seen Sister?
she's around somewhere.
I've seen Batman twice.
All right, we'll go and see a band.
I don't like bands, they give me a headache.
We'll go and see a quiet one.
Martin, look, there are plenty of other nurses about. Why do you keep following me?
Oh, you're better looking than all the others.
All right then, just don't walk so close.
Does that mean yes?
No!
All right, Mrs. Humphreys. Everything's fine. We're all finished.
Michael, can we turn her on her side? And we'd better get someone in to give this floor a scrub. Lights off.
Nurse, give Mr. Lopez a shout.
Neil and Glenys Kinnock.
Pardon?
Both working. I can't remember what she does, but she certainly does something, and they've been together for years.
Sheila, doesn't that strike you as a bit of a leap? I mean, out of all these millions of couples who manage perfectly well, first you say Joyce and Alec, she turns out to be cracking up under the strain, and the next ones that spring to mind are Neil and Glenys Kinnock.
Joyce cracking up?
Well, she's not exactly a normal, let's all have a bit of a giggle self, is she?
There's nothing wrong with her. She's a bit nervy, maybe. She's got a lot on at work, but I can't say I've noticed any particularly...
Excuse me.
Joyce?
I won't be a minute.
Antonia Fraser and Harold Pinter.
I thought someone was supposed to be giving this floor a scrub.
Porgy and Bess.
You might as well give up. Everyone does in the end.
How do you mean, everyone?
All the ones who've been trying to go out with her for the last 3 years.
Like who?
Everyone.
Michael, have you got any size 7 tubes in your anaesthetic room?
I think so.
Tubes?
Endotracheal tubes, size 7. I haven't got any.
Yes, you have. I ordered a box full about a month ago.
I didn't say there weren't any. I was just saying I can't find one in my anaesthetic room.
I see. So that's my fault, is it? I order a whole cartload, you lot fling them about like frisbees, and then when you can't find one, you go around complaining to everyone that I'm not doing my job properly. And you'd all be better off with a floppy disk.
I never said that at all. I was just asking if I could borrow a size 7 tube.
Oh.
Thanks. It's only a lump of plastic.
Look, someone must have been out with her sometime.
All I know is she never goes out with the ones who ask if she wants to go out with them. It's only when they stop asking she seems to get interested.
And out of all the ones who've stopped asking, how many has she been out with?
Everyone.
Neil, I've got another patient on the way. The floor's a mess. I need him for 1 minute, that's all.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind just doing my floor first. I believe I did ask.
On minuto. Up there, then come back and clean theatre 2.
No, I'm sorry. Dos minutos down this way.
¡Hombre, por Dios!
Joyce.
Mira, señora Watson, yo llevo 5 años trabajando en esta casa de locos.
Sí, ya me lo has dicho, ya lo sé. ¿Tienes problemas?
2. Este es uno, este es el otro.
Ah. Don't worry, I'll sort things out. Por cierto, ¿cómo te llamas?
¿Mi nombre?
Sí.
Gonzalo.
Gonzalo. Bonito nombre. Mira, Gonzalo, si tienes problemas, deberías hablar con otra persona, con mi ayudante.
¿Quién?
Está en mi despacho. Vete a hablar con él. Bueno.
Adrian? Hi, Cheryl. Listen, I can't talk for long. I'm ringing to say my car's got no petrol in, so I'll have to take yours. For this meal. Up the Indian. You can't be working. How can you be working? You're in maintenance. No, I can't. I'm having moussaka tomorrow night with Dr. Paxos. Tonight's the only night I got free my menu. Of course, that's all I'm interested in. Do you think prawn biryanis grow on trees?
Feet.
Mel Brooks and Anne Bancroft.
Sheila.
Well, you asked. Plenty of people like who, you said. I'm simply answering your question.
And who's next? Fred and Wilma Flintstone.
Now you're being stupid.
Sheila, look. Imagine if you and I were married.
All right.
Well, don't get your hopes up. It's just an example.
If my hopes were getting up, it was simply the thought of flogging the film rights to Hammer Horror.
Exactly. The idea's ridiculous.
Why? Why is it ridiculous?
Where am I going with this blasted bucket?
Why is it ridiculous?
Well, isn't it obvious? Look, if Joyce finds it difficult to cope...
Jonathan, Joyce may be having a few problems at work, but that doesn't mean her home life is falling apart. I happen to know that she's... Alec!
God, this place gives me the willies. It's all right for me to stand here, is it?
Yes, of course. How nice to see you. Do you know Jonathan? This is Alec, Joyce's husband. Alec, Jonathan Haslam.
How do you do? Listen, have you seen that stupid bat of a wife of mine?
What?
The great Wazzock. I'm sitting in this travel agent trying to book a romantic couple of days in Holland for our wedding anniversary. They say they can only do Thursday and Friday. So, I try and ring the daffy bint to see if she can get some time off work next week, and she won't even come to the phone.
Ah.
Might be a bad time to ask, frankly.
Nonsense. I'm sure she'd love to go.
Sheila?
Alec? Ah. Yes, well, we'd best be getting on with the work.
All right.
They say they can only do Thursday, Friday.
So?
So, can you get time off? That's all I want to know.
Of course I can. My God, this place virtually runs itself.
I thought you were rushed off your feet.
Too rushed for a bunk up on a boat with my husband. I should take her. You got any brochures?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Mira, yo llevo 5 años trabajando en esta casa de locos y hasta ahora no he tenido ningún problema con nadie. Siempre he sido trabajador, siempre. Pero no puedo hacer dos cosas al mismo tiempo.
Sheila, that does not prove the thing. Something happened. I don't know what, but you know as well as I do. If he'd come in here 10 minutes ago, she'd have told him to disappear up his own...
Rubbish. Alec and Joyce have a wonderful relationship, like most working couples.
Oh, here we go. Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. Roy Rogers and Trigger.
No, Mary and Michael Parkinson, Pauline Collins and John Alderton.
No.
I've changed my mind. You can take me out just this once, as long as we go for a decent meal.
No.
Marcy, I won't ask you again.
George and Ira Gershwin.
Ira Gershwin was George's brother.
Ooh.
And mind my floor, I've just cleaned it.